Good morning. You guys ready for this week? Harvest is going to start. I don't know if it's going to be today, but it's going to start this week. So going to get exciting, going to get real busy here real fast. We're going to head to Berkey here shortly and get the combine out, hook up the head, make sure everything's running, go check out our beans, and see if we can get going today or not. It's a little overcast and cloudy, which is not great for running beans, but we'll see if it clears off and the sun comes out this afternoon. There's a pretty good chance, I would say. Before we get to that, though, we have some issues with this tractor. We've been throwing an exhaust pressure sensor code, and asked the John Deere tech about it when he was working on the combine on Friday, and or Thursday, whatever day that was. And he told me a few things to try. Dad ran it yesterday, said that the code did come back, and so we need to look into it a little bit more. It is, I believe, this sensor right here. There's a line that comes out of this EGR cooler. This is exhaust line, and then it's this pressure sensor. It says that it can get sooted up and stuff, and so to take this sensor out, take a look at that, and see if we can clean it up. So we're going to start there. It's probably not going to work. So they can come out and hook up a laptop and tell what the actual reading is on this. They said it's best to do it when it's cold, because if it matches ambient air temperature, we know that it's working. If that sensor is throwing off a weird reading, you know, way off from ambient temperature when it's cold, then we know that the sensor is bad. So we're going to take it out and clean it up, and then we'll see from there. Well, it's not clean. I don't know. How do I clean it, though? I get some brake cleaner, maybe? Try that? I don't know. I have a feeling we're going to be buying a sensor. This can't be that expensive. Maybe I should see if we got part number on here and just get one ordered. All right, well, I got that put back together, cleaned up a little bit. There wasn't that much in it. I have a hard time believing that's going to fix our issue. I should note that we are technically done with that tractor up here for now. We have all the wheat stubble ripped up. Dad finished the last field yesterday, and so we don't have an immediate need for it. However, Dad wants to take the big pans, the double pans, dirt scrapers, down to Berkey to move some dirt, and we need that tractor to do it. So that's on the list of things to do, is to unhook the ripper, hook up the scrapers, and get them to Berkey. We also are going to need the ripper down there next, so we'll have to figure out how to get it there. We might have to take the 8R down, because Dad wants to use it on that scraper. Phil took the 8430 to put on the air seeder. Yeah, everything's going that way, so I suppose we can get it all there one way or another. One thing Deere does really good is put their parts catalog online so you can find stuff. Right there, number 45 is our pressure sensor. We click on that. Exhaust gas recirculation delta pressure sensor. There's the part number, so we can copy that. And then I got to open up another window. We go to my dealer page. We log in. We go to parts. We paste that number. It's $188. They have 7 of them. They have one at our dealership in Jonesville. Let's just get her coming. All right, it is time to head to Berkey. Our beans might be ready. Might be. So I'm taking a truck. Phil took a truck. When Brock gets here at 11, he can bring a pickup so we can all get home. Again, I don't know if we're going to combine today, but we're going to go find out. All right, we made it down here. Weather's not being real cooperative. I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything today. And then I looked at the forecast, and it has rain in it for the next 3 days, which was not there a couple of days ago. So, crap. It may be the end of the week before we start. Let's hope not. We'll see. We're going to get the combine out, hook up the head, make sure everything runs, and just check everything over, grease it, that kind of stuff here. Ah, yes. All right, we're going to start out here with this. Apparently this tractor is dead again. It was dead the other day after it had been sitting for 2 months. Started it and let it run for a while and thought it was good. It started for me on Friday, but Phil said it won't start now. So we're just going to let it charge for a while because it costs too much money to let that tractor sit there to idle to charge the battery. So I'm not going to do it. We need to grease our grain cart. So we're going to grease the tracks. I got the grease gun. I got some extra grease. We use HD lithium grease for the grain cart because that's what they told me to use. So that's what we're using. All right, I think the grain cart should be good to go here. We'll let the tractor charge for a while. There's like I said, there's no reason to just start it up and let it run. So we're not going to do that. I think the iPad's in there. It should be good to go. I did order some new batteries for our Agromatics Libra box. Shouldn't need them. The one that's in there should be good for the year. But there is a battery inside this little white box up here. And if it dies, our grain cart scale system won't work. So I want to make sure we have some on hand. Probably just throw them right in this toolbox here. And if we have an issue, we can change it. There is a way to hardwire power into it, but I didn't take the time or don't have easy access to 12-volt power right there, so I didn't worry about it. But got the tracks greased. I filled the auto luber. So our equalizer tracks here, these big wide grain cart tracks, they're sort of fancy because they pivot side to side and front to back to help follow the ground contour better. It's really awesome, especially when we're working along a road ditch or something, trying to fill a cart or a truck, and they can pivot side to side a little bit. It takes the stress off the one side of the wheels or the the bogies and the idlers and stuff. But anyway, there's no auto luber on the hubs for those wheels, but there is on all of these pivot points, and so those grease automatically. There's a pressure gauge up in here. You want that to be at 1,000 psi. That's right where we're at. So track system is all good to go. Before we dig the combine out, I thought I'd draw out here and talk to Dad real quick. He was gone before I got to the farm this morning, so see what he thinks. They are connecting laterals into the new main, so that's all good stuff. Plows back there, they're working, putting new tile in. This is a big project here. All right, we're gonna dig the combine out here in a minute. My sales rep's here. I store his way wagon for him, and he's coming to get it, so it's sitting outside here. I'm gonna go help him hook up. All right, let's pull the head out. We'll park it in a field where we can hook up to it. Try not to hit the sidewall, the snouts. Good with that one, but I'm a little concerned being a four-wheel steer and not being able to see it. We're gonna go this way. I'll just go this way. Should work, right? Now I can see it. Got it. Okay. I'm walking around the combine making sure everything is set right. The only thing I think that I need, close those doors. We definitely need to close those doors. But this needs to change to the corn position for beans. That's the rethresher concave clearance kind of deal there. So we'll get these closed up. Otherwise we'll throw all our grain in the ground, and we don't want that. Actually, I take it back. We're gonna run it first. That way any trash and stuff that we got in the combine falls out onto the ground, and then we'll close it. Everything else should be good. We were running the chopper when we finished, so the speed's on high. Knife bank is engaged. I got the rotor speed settings set to where I think we want it. Let's take her out and hook up the head. Don't ever film the first time you do something. Like hooking up the head for the first time of the year. I'm a little crooked. I don't know if I'm going to get it here. Yeah, it doesn't look good. No, we got to get it squared up. See, told you not to film it. Take two, I overcorrected. We got it. All right, we gotta hook up our single point handle with all the hydraulics and electric and our PTO shaft. Alright, we have to unfold the grain tank covers. I'll unfold the auger while we're at it, because we will probably run that unloading auger system as well. Didn't bring my iPad. Bummer. It's alright. Doesn't look like we're going to combine today anyway. Okay, grain tank covers are open. I'm going to open the door. And see what happens. Sounds good. Now it's dusty, so we close the door. Okay, give her a little throttle. Okay, give her a little more throttle. Excellent. Relatively smooth. A lot of times when it sits for a while, the dust settles and throws things out of balance and you get vibrations. We got a little wiggle, shake, but nothing too major. Okay, slow her back down. Try the head. Center draper belt's not spinning. I have to check the tension. Sometimes that one sticks for a minute. Okay, we're gonna check the tension on that before we do any more. Alright, center draper belt. It's under this big yellow cover, but you come over here to the side. This bolt is the tensioner right there, and it is supposed to be flush with the side. It sticks out just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and snug it up a few turns. Try it again. We might need to dump this pan. Maybe we got a bunch of crap built up in behind there. Alright, that tension's where I want it. We're just going to go ahead. Don't lose that. Okay. We're going to dump this. So we got to pull these pins. Try and stay out of the way here. So I think you got to push them in. There, like that. Alright, I'm not going to film this because I'm going to... Well, okay, I will. I'm going to try and get the heck out of the way. I'm going to get coated in dust here. Hold on. You ready for this? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Dust cloud. Alright, we'll get this all cleaned off best we can. Sometimes that stuff, if it gets to be too much, it can push on the center draper belt here. Not let it turn. We don't want that. So, just clean it off. There's Brock. Alright, we got that cleaned out. Let's go try that again. I did check the side the side draper belt tension. They were good. Come on. It's trying to go. There it goes. Sometimes it just sticks a little bit. Awesome. All looks good. So what happens when I push number 2? Nothing. Alright, what's going on? We gotta get some settings adjusted, right? That's what we're doing now. Alright, I think everything is good. The unloading auger ran, the head ran, the machine ran. Now we just need some beans to run. You guys see that whitish haze in the distance? My field's over there by those houses. It's raining. We can close our doors now. Alright, before we unhook that head, I want to go through and grease everything. There's only 1 or 2 grease zerks on the combine that are shorter than a 50-hour grease interval. Some of them should be hit more than that anyway. But we don't have 50 hours on it since we're doing weed harvest. We did not put 50 hours on the combine. But it's a good opportunity to do it right now and start with everything greased. And yeah. Sometimes in season we're not the best at it, so do it when we've got time. Right now. Now I wonder, I thought there was some underneath here on some of these. I need to look around a little more. I know there's some on the reel on the head, that's why I didn't want to drop it just yet. Well, there's some up there on my feeler arms, but we don't even use those for beans, so probably not critical that they get greased. There's one. I knew there was some somewhere. All right, the tip on our grease gun is garbage, as they all are, but this one's especially garbage. So I don't have any new ones down here. I got a whole drawer of them at the farm back at Waldron, but it's lunchtime. We're gonna go to lunch. We're gonna find a store that sells grease gun tips, probably Tractor Supply, because that's where they sell these things, and buy some new ones, and then we'll come back and finish greasing. It's like still rainy, misty. There's almost zero chance we're gonna combine beans today, but we'll stop in the field and look, see if they would even be ready if we could. Do you see it? No, you can't see it. Focus there. See, we got raindrops. It's gonna make it very difficult to combine beans today. But let's go look at them. See, if it was corn, we could run corn in this weather all day and we would be just fine, because a little bit of moisture on the husks doesn't hurt anything. But we need these soybean pods to crack open, and in order to crack open, they can't be soggy, they have to be dry. And, well, that humid, moist air getting damp from raindrops isn't going to let them crack open. So I am going to say right now that we're not going to combine today. These beans are probably close. I think we could do it. Maybe. Let's look. All right, so they're pretty well dry. We got a few leaves out here yet, but we don't see the yellow pods nearly like we did on Friday. They're much, much drier than they were on Friday. And if you can, yeah, see, when I bend that pod, it does not crack open. It just kind of mushes around. There's no way we'd be able to get them out of there. And the beans are soft. I can feel it. I can cut them with my fingernail. Those beans are 20 to 25% moisture. Beans will soak it up from the atmosphere, I mean, readily, quickly. And so overnight, a lot of times they get wet. That's why we don't start combining beans until lunchtime or later. You can see we still got some green leaves. A couple more days wouldn't hurt anything out here anyway. You know, if there's going to be some patchy stuff like that over there, we can run through those, no problem, as long as the bulk of them are dry. I don't want the beans to get over dry. I've already seen a lot of people are dealing with that across the country right now, where their beans are 10, 8%. I mean, you lose more money combining 10% beans than you do 15% beans and paying a drying charge at the elevator. So I would much rather combine them at 15% if at all possible, and that's what I kind of shoot for to get started. We're way wetter than that right now. We've got to have some sunshine, and it's just not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It doesn't look like. There's rain chances the next 3 days after today. Today there wasn't even a rain chance and it's raining. So I don't know. That's a real bummer, because I was hoping to get started today or tomorrow and get rolling, and especially get these ones down to Berkey here done so we could get back to Waldron, start working on stuff up there. Last year, I think I was one of the first ag YouTubers started with harvest. Don't drive off the road. We started pretty early. Maybe not last year. Maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago. We were also one of the last ones to finish last year. And we're getting a late start this year. It means we're probably not going to finish until Thanksgiving-ish. It's not looking good. We need to get moving. But can't control the weather. We can do what we can do. Look, we got a new one. All right, question for you guys out there on YouTube world that know anything about this. What's better, a 3-jaw coupler or a 4-jaw coupler? All they had was 3 jaws there. The 4s were gone, which makes me think the 4s are better. Also, don't say lock and lube, because I'm not buying one. They're garbage, just like all the rest of them. One more. So we got rock greasing. That's this one, 50 hour. We're not going to do the 400s. We did them in the winter. We don't put 400 hours a year on this machine, so we're not doing those. Yeah, those are our rear axle. So we need to do those. And going on the final drive, which is super fun to get to. It's in there. Get yourself a Brock. It makes it a lot easier to do things. What? Nothing. I said you're doing a great job, Brock. There's a tricky one in there on the slip clutch that's way in behind there. Brock got a little dirty. You okay? Okay. It's a 10-hour one. According to that sticker, it's a 10-hour one. Anyway, we've got some on right here, which is right here. It's this fan drive. They're variable speed shave on this fan drive. So they are, one's right there, and then there's another one somewhere else on the other side. Last one on the combine. It's down there.
How much?
Keep going, Jack. One more time. Doesn't really tell you. Good enough. A couple more on the head here. Are we out of grease? Okay, a couple more on the head here. There's one on these drive shafts, and then on the reel pivot. Go around the front. Go around. Right in there. There's 3 of them on the head, on the reel, when there's 2 drive shafts, one on each side. We'll hit those real fast, and I believe that is it in here. There's none on these U-joints. So yeah, I think that's it. I believe everything on our cutter bar is good. We put a whole new, or all new knife sections on before wheat harvest every year, replace guards and stuff, and you're not running it on the ground in the dirt in wheat, because you're cutting higher up the stalk or the stem. So cutter bar should be good to go. Okay, combine and bean head are ready to go. Like totally ready to go. Greased, checked, run, all the above. So we're gonna go throw it in the barn, combine at least. The head might sit out because it's a pain to get in there. We're gonna need it. But combine we can put in pretty easy, so we'll do that. And now we just wait for weather. And holy crap, look at that spider. Oh my gosh. That's terrifying. It's a huge spider web. Oof. I'll make Brock wash the windows.
Yeah, that looks like the one that we bit. Come here, baby. Oh, let's go see Uncle Nathan.
Wait, I'm gonna get back. I was gonna call him my hero, but he's gonna throw it at me, so. Thanks, Brock! We decided we're gonna put fuel in it before we put it in the barn. We got a fuel trailer here. Let's fuel it up. I think I already said that. Did I already say that? I might have already said that. A little more. Oh, so nice. Fueling and juicing. So sweet trailer, man. That is a sweet, sweet trailer. All right, I put this back in the barn here. We're done fueling up. I wanted to show you this real quick. These are our cameras. Yeah, they don't show up real well. If I go, let's see, there's another way to do this here. And then live cameras, we can see the grain. And it looks black, but that's because there's nothing on the lens of the camera. The tailing, or the clean grain elevator is empty. Tailings, same thing, it's empty. There's just some dust on the lens. And then you can see a split view, but they're there and they are working. And we have this auto maintain feature here that we did not have before we did our software updates last week. So I think our cameras are going to work for us, which is good. Brock's fueling up our generator, and we'll fuel up the 8RX sitting out here. We'll see how much is left in our fuel trailer, but we might take that home so we can reload and bring it back. Oh, we got another tractor in there we can do too. It started. That's good. It's not empty, but we can use a little bit. Long hoses are nice. We parked over there to do that, and both hoses reach. That's awesome. We have pretty much our whole fleet of equipment down here, so we're just driving around fueling it all up. It's kind of fun, actually. We got the 4440 over there. It took like 12 gallons. The 7520 took, I don't know, 30 gallons. Fuel the backhoe up. We're about empty. That's what we're trying to do, is get her to run empty. Pausing our fueling to do some tiling. Tying in the old clays. Yep. Oh, we're a little all over the place. That's okay. So we got that connection made there. Now I bedded it down with some loose dirt. Now he's gonna backfill a little bit with the backhoe. And I would imagine push with the bucket and fill that in. So he's got one more to tie in there before he gets to the end. And this next flag right there is a 6-inch outlet that comes all the way across our farm from the neighbors. And so we don't really need to split that one. We're going to stay away from it. Did not cross it with the main. We're kind of putting two separate mains in because this is half-mile long rows, and so we started on the east side. The water flows east. Ran that main in. There's an outlet there, and then it kind of dead ends at the next one where Dad is working, and they're going to run another main starting on the other side of that 6 that goes all the way out to the road. Now, I've gotten a question a couple of times about why put a main in instead of having all of those outlets into the ditch straight like they are now. The reason you would do it like that now is, one, because it's cheaper, mostly just because it's cheaper. And that's just the way that it was done back when it was done 60 years ago. Now, it makes more sense for us to put a main in. A big part of that is the maintenance of the ditch. Like when we just had it cleaned out, we had to find all of those. One, they used 4-inch PVC conduit, like electrical conduit, the gray stuff, as the outlets into the river or the ditch there. And so, you know, you hit those with an excavator or something when you're cleaning it, and they break off, and then dirt can get in, animal can get in and plug it up, and it causes problems. It's a lot easier to maintain one outlet into the ditch, or two in this case, instead of 120. And so that's why we're doing that mostly. Also gives us the ability to put in one of those control structures. So because our ground is nice and flat here, it allows us to put those control structures in, which means we can kind of raise and lower the water table artificially, so we can shut the water flow off in season when we're trying to raise corn and soybeans, so that they aren't, we're not letting the water out of the field when we don't need it to be out. Now, we need it to be out in the spring and in the fall when we're trying to get equipment across it, but in the summer we kind of want the water to stay. So we'll see. We're not putting those in right now, but it would certainly be something that we can do in the future pretty easily. Well, we have made it back from our trip to Berkey. My sensor is here that I ordered this morning, along with an exhaust manifold bolt that we've had broken and need to fix. So we're going to go work on that stuff. So we had an exhaust manifold bolt broken in there. Brock is trying to put the stud in. Is it going to work? Does it look long enough? Okay, well, there's two different ones, and I wasn't sure which length to get. They told me that was the right one, but you never know. All right, we got done what we could on that tractor. I forgot to film the rest of it, but we couldn't get the exhaust manifold bolt put in. I had thought that we had already gotten the broken stud drilled out. Turns out no. So we didn't get that bolt put in. That's a project for another day, and maybe somebody else. Jack's pretty good at that stuff. We'll let him work on that sometime, but it's not something I'm going to dig into today, trying to drill that out and everything. So it's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. We'll get it. Anyway, I want to put my drone up and take a look at some of these cornfields and stuff around here. I want to see how much you can pick out where we sprayed fungicide versus where we didn't, because I think it's going to show up big time right now. And so we're gonna put it up, fly around, get a little video here, and see what we can see. All right, here we go. Taking off from the farm, overlooking the plot between my house and the farm, and you can see some variation out there. We can certainly see some more brown on the left side of this plot, which would be the early maturing hybrids that are closer to being finished. But you can definitely see some color variation in the different hybrids out there. One thing I found interesting is you get to the left of this picture, we're no longer in the plot, but we see the yellow streaking. That's remnants of the anhydrous bar uneven application that we had in a couple of fields. So don't like to see that. Here we're on the other end of the plot. Kind of got a little bit closer here to see a little bit more up close to the signs in the hybrid, so I can see which ones were which as we fly across the front of the plot here. Back to the field behind the barn. This is one of my high yield plots, and there's a lot more brown out there than I would like to see. I would like it to be a little bit greener yet. However, this corn is basically finished. I don't know that
just completely black layered, but I would assume that most of it has. It was some of the very first planted stuff on April 13th, and the ground along this pond and that side there that we're looking at is some of the best ground that we have. So I expect this to be a pretty high yielding strip of corn in this plot right here. We're going to go back to this backfield where I have my high management standard practice ply, and you can see the alternating strips there. Those are the two different hybrids, and you can see that it's a little bit greener on the right side of this than it is on the left, but there's a huge difference in how each hybrid handled and has maintained its plant health, which is quite interesting here. So we'll see how this one turns out. And now we're going to fly over a bean field and look at the dead areas in this bean field. So you'll notice there's a lot kind of right in the middle of these two trees here, the woods. There's a lot of between the houses, particularly to the one on the left. And then as we get in front of the woods here on the right, there's more. But in the far right-hand corner behind the house in the middle there, not as much. And I believe all those dead patches are the white mold. And there's a reason that it's in the areas that it is and not in kind of that square behind this house. Right here, there was CRP field around that, and part of it that doesn't have any white mold has been farmed for 40 years. The other part has been just the last 10 years, and I think we're still seeing that show up. I don't know why, but we are. Here we're at a cornfield next to it. Appears to be two different hybrids out here. You can see the split kind of right in the middle. That is not a fungicide difference. That is a hybrid difference, 109 and 110 day. Just patchy. We've just got a lot of patchy that's soil types and water capacity. All right, now here's another one where it is a fungicide difference. This is the field we were walking the other day where we had perimetered the field with the Haggy, but he ran out and did not spray the whole field. And if you look real close here, you can see where that 120 foot around the perimeter of this field is. In the center of it, right in front of us, in front of the camera, was not sprayed. And there's much more brown out there. It's not as green as it is right along the edges all the way around this house. And then now, as you get to the right side of the screen here, it's much greener. It has held on longer, kept the disease out of it, kept that plant alive. Now, it's not totally green. There's still dead stuff out there or stuff that's dying off. But just in general, you can see that the fungicides made a big difference in plant health. As we approach this kind of wet hole in the middle here that we farm around, you can definitely see that pattern of where he sprayed around that hole, and then there's a square back here in this little part in front of that pond that did not get sprayed, but you can see where he did it around the outside of it. So the fungicide made a difference. Across the road from there is a bean field of ours. Not quite ready, still got some yellow leaves out there, but they are definitely getting close. And we're going to start making our way back to the farm in the distance. As we fly across this bean field, these are probably the first beans that we will harvest when we get back from our Berkey farm. They are 2.5 maturity and the farthest along, so they should be the first ones that we get to do. We are going to plant wheat in both of these two fields here. One thing you'll note on the field on the left is 15-inch rows. The field on the right is 30-inch rows. They are the same hybrid, so a little interesting comparison there. There's kind of a low spot right in front of us that's got the yellow leaves in it there that just have more water, so they hang out a little bit longer. Dry down. Can't see sprayer tracks out there. Drone. Let's see those sprayer tracks. We probably still won't know it because it's still not efficient. Anyway, that's the fields that we were looking at. We're going to fly back across the road here, zoom around the farm a little bit, and bring her in for a landing.
right, well, it was interesting to see some of the variation there, but who knows? We should be okay, I think. We're still, those last beans that we looked at, they're getting close. They'll be ready by the time we get here. So we will go when we can go, but we've got everything ready. Frustrating that the weather was so great last week and the beans weren't ready, and then this week the beans are ready and the weather's not cooperating. So the forecast does get much better after Thursday, so probably over the weekend, if nothing else, we'll be real busy. And the weather forecast changes here by the hour, so they may take the rain out for Wednesday and Thursday before we get there. Who knows? Of course, they may add some in too. Anyway, have a great night. Thanks for watching this one. I have no idea what's going on tomorrow. It may be a seed selling day. It may be a trailer shopping day. I need to do that. So we're going to do what we do. We may make a video. We may not. I do have some wheat coming that needs to get treated, but I don't think it's coming until later in the week. So probably not working on that tomorrow. And yeah, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you when we see you.